All right, everybody. Happy Friday. Big waves to you. Good to see you. Carrie, we get to celebrate your word for the year today. I'm so excited. Um, for everybody tuning in, thank you for being a part of the Coach's Corner. We hope you had a great week and we hope you have an even better weekend, okay, going into the weekend. But we want to get the day started, and we actually have a couple of birthdays. We'll see if they're on, but Patty Norton, Lyndon Bolden, Linda Bolden, it's their birthdays today. So if you guys know Patty and Linda, please send them happy birthdays. Big shout outs. We hope they have the most amazing day ever. So the word for today is flexible. Flexible. And I've got like, this is going to be more from the heart. And maybe this, hopefully, something I share, Carrie and everybody, it will be of value. So if you look at flexible, it's capable of bending easily without breaking. Now, the older I get, I'm like, Brent, you were a lot more flexible 5 years ago when actually flexible, like if I were to stretch my legs today. Okay. Any of y'all feel that way? Surely not. Yeah. I mean, John Frick can still do the splits. I mean, this guy's unbelievable with flexibility. Okay. But for me, I don't know about you. I go to the stretch lab. It's this place. Anybody know of the stretch lab? And they help with flexibility. And every time I go, it hurts, and then I feel really well when I leave because I'm like, I'm so glad I did that. That's not what I'm talking about today, by the way. But it is good to 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 continue to stretch our body as we age. Not only actually our muscles, but our growth, our mental game as well. And I think it takes a degree of flexibility to always be moving, right? I'm thinking about a person that's always moving, always going, Brenda, and stretching their self, like stretching their limits, challenging their growth and all of that. You go, man, they're more mentally stable through their life. There's so much to be said with the mind and the mental game as the body ages when you're continuing to grow, when you're continuing to thrive, when you're reading, listening to audio, things like that. So much stats and research out there on that topic. But John Wooden, which was a great basketball coach, once said flexibility is the key to stability. We've got to be flexible. If you're truly flexible and go until there is really like when you go, very little can I totally botched that up. Here's my point. If we're flexible people, there's really through our life so much we can accomplish, so much we can take on, but we've got to be flexible. And I want to share a thought with you. And I'm going to use the business for an example. Some of you are in business with me, some of you's not. And what I hear a lot is I see this in my business model, in my profession. I see emotions that are driven ups and downs and ups and downs. And I have to remind people, hey guys, congratulations, you're entrepreneurs. You're not employees. Employees make the same check week over week over week over week. An entrepreneur, there's ebb and flows. And so I have a buddy of mine that owns a $300 million company a year, and it's in e-commerce. And 90% of that $300 million a year comes from the holiday months, November and December. 2 months out of the year. Maybe Mother's Day and Father's Day. But here's the thing. Here's what I would tell you. Are you pointing at me, Andrew? Okay, here's what I would tell you. Would you be willing to have a $300 million business that you make most of your revenue over the course of 2 months, and 10 of the months are kind of just not very good? Would you be willing to get to the end of the year and go, we made $300 million this year? Congratulations. But how many entrepreneurs, when it's a slow season, are they not flexible? Are they not trying to stretch and go and do and realize that there's ebb and flows and the business is massively going to pick up? If they do the work, the flexible work, meaning they're right now when it's slow, that's when you're planning, strategizing. That's when you're getting the team together, you're training, you're doing things like you're cranking the engine, right? Because you know there's going to be upcoming months that it's like, woohoo, I'm feeling it, I'm feeling it. And then there's going to be times of the year that you're like, woo, everybody went to sleep, but that's okay. That's time to plan, go, be flexible, learn, grow, create new goals. And then guess what? It picks up again. Every person, if you're a Grant Cardone follower of 10X, if you're an Eric Worre follower of the network marketing profession, if if you're an e-commerce follower, if you're a Gary V follower, listen to them. There's ebb and flows. And during the 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 downshift, they're being so flexible. Like they're learning new strategies, they're igniting the business, they're meeting with their sales force for the new growth mode that is to come. Rather than sitting there going, woe is me. I feel so sorry for myself. I'm having a downshift right now. Like that's not their thought because they know the harvest is coming year over year over year. Every business model has different times of years that it ebb and flows. Does that make sense? And so during those points, Carrie, we got to be flexible, right? And so at the end of the day, and I'm going to turn it to Andrea, flexibility is so much attached to our mental game between our two ears. So much of it. If you're somebody that when it downshifts, you go in a funk, you got to self-develop in that area so that over time gets better and better and better so that when there's a downshift, there's not such a depression that comes over you, right? Same way with my health. I went over. But same way with my health. I got to not let it downshift when I have a slip day. I can realize it, hit the reset, jump right back up where I don't just continue moving in this downward motion. I stay flexible. So, Andrea, I'll turn it to you.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Great message, great reminder, and good reminder about the Stretch Lab too. Probably need to get back in there. So I found two quotes and they both kind of made me giggle. So you're going to get to hear both this morning. But the first is, blessed are the flexible, for they cannot be bent out of shape. And that I'm like, okay, if you're flexible, right? Like we've all been there. And then this one kind of plays along with it. It says, if you can't be flexible in life, you become irritable in life. And I can see that in myself as well. So they both kind of made me giggle. And so what I looked into was, okay, that sounds great. How do I get a little bit more flexible in my mind and my behavior in how I manage situations? Because sometimes well, Brent likes to say stubborn. I'm going to say I can be, well, stubborn's probably the best way that we can say it. So I can be a little inflexible, right? Like it's my way or the highway, or I only see things through these glasses and I don't even know that there's alternates, right? So how can I be a little bit more flexible? So first of all, I've got to consider the alternate options. So if I'm prone to thinking that, the only way, oh, this is a horrible saying, but we're going to say it, like you can only skin a cat. Like there's only one way to skin a cat. Please tell me I'm not the only one that's heard that awful saying that if you don't think about it, it doesn't sound that big of a deal, but when you think about it, it's kind of gross. Okay. Anyway, there's multiple ways we could start at one end or the other, right? And we could get there. But if we think there's only one way, then we're only going to come up with one solution. So for example, this is one that I like to use a lot is, at my house, there's only one way to load the dishwasher and every other way is wrong. It's true. Every other way is wrong. But you know what? There's more ways that those dishes can get clean. So if I can be a little bit more flexible and try to do it the other way, as much as it makes my skin crawl, just try, because that's a way we can get a little bit more flexible. Next is to start just making little small changes. This one we talk about a little bit, but let's just pretend I go to Costco and I always park over by on the gas station side of Costco because I always do. That's the best place to park. I'm going to get gas after. I've got reasons, right? No, no, no. This time I'm going to go park by the tire center. I don't need tires, but I'm going to go park over there, and I'm just going to try to walk in a different direction. Maybe you're walking through the grocery store and you always start and you go left to right. Well, let's go right to left. Those little tiny things just allow us to loosen up a little bit and be a little bit more flexible. Next is to try a new experience, whatever it is, right? Maybe you're 49 years old now and you haven't been on a roller coaster since you were 14. And it's like, okay, maybe this is the year that you decide to somehow get a little bit brave and you just do something new. You go on a hike, but maybe you've never hiked before. You read a book in a completely different genre. It doesn't really matter, but just try something new that you never saw yourself doing, because that's going to help you be a little bit more flexible. And then meet some new people. Every time we meet somebody new, we have the opportunity to grow in a whole new way. Seeing the world through somebody else's eyes, like building that connection and having those conversations, allows us to understand things in a completely different way. Like John and I, we might have some common ground, but then we also grew up in completely different places doing completely different things. So we're going to see things completely differently. And the more I communicate with John, the more I can learn about that perspective. Maybe the perspective of sitting in that John Deere tractor, which I've never had that perspective. So I still need to get that training from you guys. But I'm going to see things a little bit differently when I meet new people. And then lastly, and this is going to be kind of a crazy one, seems off track, but get some exercise. When we are physically active, it actually helps our brain become more active as well, which boosts our cognition and our mental flexibility. So that's what I had this morning. Hopefully it helped you, Carrie. Great word. Thank you so much for choosing it for us for the year. So thank you for this one,
Yeah,
Coach.
absolutely. I think we all want to be flexible. Like it's something, but it's definitely at times hard in different areas of our lives. So great lesson this morning, Carrie. And guys, we love you. We appreciate you. Have a great weekend. We'll see you back on Monday. Bye, guys.
Love you guys. Have a great day.
You.